Zoom faces several lawsuits over privacy concerns. Fox 5 legal analyst Wendy Patrick joining us now to explain. Wendy, good morning.
Good morning, Raul.
So Zoom is pretty much in everybody's house these days. Why is the company being sued?
Well, the company's being sued because of the same concerns that many video platforms are sued, the issue regarding privacy. Now, you're right, Zoom not only is in everybody's households, but everybody is familiar with the terminology. We live camera ready. We know about Zoom bombing, which is when unintended intruders infiltrate our Zoom meetings. So it's not a surprise that some class of investors are basically saying, we didn't know about the risks. You, Zoom, weren't completely forthcoming about the possibility that some of our data might be compromised. Whereas the almost the irony of a lawsuit like this is we all joke we wish we'd bought stock in Zoom. The question is whether investors who did get in early are really going to be damaged significantly by the fact that, yes, there's some privacy concerns.
Is it naive to think that this company was already successful in business meetings and office buildings all over the place, but they honestly didn't expect this kind of success and usage, if you will, and that they've taken the steps necessary given the amount more people using Zoom? Okay, well, now we're going to change what we do.
Yes, that's right. You know, one of the last points you made, Raul, is exactly right on the money. So Zoom users, we know exactly, Zoom fatigue is a word because there are so many Zoom users. We know about the risks. Zoom has told us about the risks. And because privacy matters, remember what we're doing, we're balancing privacy and productivity.
Right.
When you look at the changes they've already made to their privacy determinations, you can log on and see exactly what they collect and who they share it with. Part of the lawsuits that have been filed against Zoom thus far has been exactly that. Not only are there privacy issues, but there's information sharing that consumers didn't know about. So given the amount of time we spend every day, we're Zooming with personal contacts, we're Zooming professionally, we're sitting upright and stiff in a chair all day long, we're exhausted after a day's worth of Zoom meetings. Are we really going to change the fact that we use Zoom, or are we going to become better informed about how they use our information and then make an informed decision whether we want to keep doing this?
So the lawsuits are alleging that the customers are upset about the fact that they're doing it to begin with to gather information, or the fact that they didn't know they were doing it?
Well,
because if you don't know, you got to assume. I mean, that's
right.
kind of how a lot of these companies operate. It's kind of their whole point.
And that's the counter argument, is that obviously consumers were at least somewhat aware that video conferencing involves a degree of risk. Investors, which are part of the lawsuit at issue, they've had to have been aware of the same thing. And despite the fact that there have been these Zoom bombing incidences, privacy breaches, the number of people using Zoom has only continued to increase. And there is no indication, Raul, that trajectory is going to be interrupted anytime soon. Because remember, when there are issues with privacy, Zoom has stepped up and done what they can on their end, not only to secure their server, but to inform customers exactly what they should expect and how their data is being used.
Which, doesn't that seem to be what you want the company like this to do, given the circumstances, and aren't they doing it? But yet the lawsuits are still very litigious, it seems to me. But what does this mean for the future of the platform? Because you got to realize, Facebook is free, Zoom is free, and there's the old adage, nothing in this world is free.
That's right, Raul. But it's also not an issue of you get what you pay for, because you get a lot and don't pay anything when you use a platform like Zoom, at least if you have the basic package. And remember that with lawsuits, you have to prove damages. So if investors are going to say, hey, we lost value, it's going to be hard pressed for them to continue to make that argument, given the fact that despite the privacy concerns, more people than ever are continuing to use Zoom. And here's one more thing, Raul. Even when we are allowed to all stream back into the workplace, Zoom has become so profitable, so easy to use, that we'll probably continue to use it. Maybe not just as much, but I don't think investors are going to be sorry that they made those initial investments.
Yeah, I agree. If and when the day comes where everything goes back to normal, I think people are still going to be using this a lot more. So you kind of mentioned and hinted at a little bit. What comes next in the next month or two for this company?
The company in the next month or two are only going to increase their level of transparency. They're going to be more forthcoming about data sharing. They're probably not going to data share with Facebook, with LinkedIn, as much as they did before. And they're going to encourage users to learn all they can about the company to make an informed decision as to whether that's the video conferencing platform they want to use. But my prediction, Raul, is we're going to continue to use Zoom as it continues to make itself a better company with tighter security. So for investors, in terms of a lawsuit, they're just going to be making more money. At least that's the prediction. We'll see if that comes true.
There you have it. Wendy, Patrick, we thank you so much for your time this morning.
Thank you.